What's up, everybody? What is up? Welcome, guys. Welcome to Lootcast, episode number 49. Yes, we are, in fact, one episode away from that 50 mark. We're almost at a half century old here on the Lootcast. Thank you guys so much for joining us another week right here. Guys, today we just have a really awesome episode lined up for you guys. There was a ton of news that came today, and Sony may have put out the best state of play yet, potentially, maybe. We're going to talk about that today. There was a game that really just kind of probably caught all of us off guard that Nintendo put out today that we're going to be chatting about, which is going to be really exciting, and a game that we all probably have played in our life. It's a skateboarding game. You may know exactly what it is. Yes, that's right. Tony Hawk is coming back. And no, they're not doing Tony Hawk 6. They're not doing another one of that. They're just remastering the ones that we know are in fact good. We're talking about all this and tons more. But right off the bat, if the show looks a little bit different tonight, please put up with us. It's very band-aided together. Discord's down. It's a whole
for
thing.
Us, apparently.
So it's a mess, and it seems like it's just an our problem thing. So our guests, they're amazing. They're just here with us tonight. So we hope that you guys are here with us too. With that being said, let's go ahead and let's chat with our guest here real quick. Just want to introduce. We have Mr. Studio Nintendo himself and Mr. Rax the Great. How y'all doing tonight?
Doing right. How about you?
Weird day, right?
Yeah. I was having a fantastic day. About 4 hours ago, I put the show together, got everything ready. I was like, yo, I'm feeling good. It's the earliest I've ever, put the show together, and then we go live, and then, the main thing that we used to do that just didn't want to work. So we're gonna work through it, but really, it's the news this week that's really holding me up, and I feel real good. So we're just gonna get right into it, guys. Ghost of Tsushima was showed off today on Sony's State of Play, and if you guys at home missed it, don't worry, I got your back. Big Dom got your back over here. We're gonna go ahead and play the Ghost of Tsushima gameplay that you guys may have missed today. Sony, they played around 18 minutes of Ghost of Tsushima gameplay, and based on contrary belief, when you show a ton of gameplay, it actually creates hype for your game. It's kind of weird that when you do that, people actually get really interested in it than just seeing some cinematic CG gameplay. It's weird. But anyways, with that being said, did you guys
fired,
yeah.
bro?
Did you guys catch
Shots
this, and what do y'all
fired,
think?
You catch it, Rex?
Of the Ghost of Tsushima thing?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
I didn't watch it.
Oh God.
What?
Oh, Rex.
You gotta watch
I was working.
it before bed. It's really good. It's not that long.
Rex,
it's
it's phenomenal.
I guess
dude.
that debunks Dom's when you show gameplay, it gets people hyped thing.
Yeah, a little bit, almost immediately.
I don't know, because I watched the Xbox one. I don't know.
Oh gosh.
I don't know.
Oh gosh.
I'm just joking.
I'm excited for
No,
it, though.
I watched just a little bit of it. I didn't need to watch the whole entire thing. I didn't need to see. I'm one of the type of people that when it comes to showing off too much gameplay, I don't know. I don't like that because I like to experience these things in my own playthrough.
Yeah.
I don't need to have every mechanic explained to me. Give me a short little brief overview of what's going on in the game. Show me a little bit of gameplay. But when it comes to showing big locales and going from point A to point B, those are things that I want to do on my own. So it kind of ruins the experience for me when I go to play it through on my own playthrough, and almost makes me want to shelf a game sometimes. If I see too much, it's I've already experienced this. It's not what it's nothing new to me. So it's that drive of experiencing something new is something that keeps me playing video games. I have a short attention span. So if that is taken away from me, I probably will move on to something else and be I've already seen this.
That's fair enough.
Understandable.
Okay.
That's
But
understandable.
from what I've seen, it looks crazy. This might be off base, but I kind of think of it as Red Dead meets Tenchu. It's kind of a strange mixture of things, but It definitely looks awesome. I do think that the character customization and stuff like that is pretty cool. The mechanic where it's like the wind tells you where the next place you got to go is pretty cool. The graphics are phenomenal.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to be pretty awesome. I'm pretty excited for it. To be totally honest with you, before this little gameplay reveal or whatever, I wasn't fully sold on the game. But once it, because most of the other things that it kind of was giving in terms of like bite-sized pieces of what was going on with the game, it was usually like what we see on the screen now, which is like a horse going from one place to the other, one person like walking pretty slow, and then like very small snippets of battle mechanics. So today when you saw like someone shoot a arrow and the guy flings it away with his sword, there was just crazy stuff that was going on. See, I did pay attention.
He brought it back, folks.
Yes, like I don't know. It looked really cool. I'm excited for it, but from this point out, I'm not gonna be looking at any more gameplay or anything like that, just because I want to experience it when I get it on when I get it in June.
Fair enough.
Agreeable.
Wait, it's July, right? July 17th.
July 17th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Rax there. I watched it because I wanted to watch it, but I'm kind of the same way. I don't like it when they show too much gameplay. To me, this wasn't really. They didn't really show a whole lot. They did show us they showed us two different instances. If you play as like a berserker or if you play stealth, how that'll work out for you.
Yep.
Whether you can play stealth or not. I thought that was really. I thought that was great. The fact that you can play any way you want based on the armor types that you get, which makes customizing your character even more vital. So it's not just, hey, I look cool. Hey, no, it's like, hey, this armor makes it so I have to play a certain way. So if I'm wearing stealth armor, guess what? If I try to go in all gung ho with stealth armor, I'm getting jacked up. If I go in with this thick armor, I'm gonna go in beefy boy and I'm gonna go in and chop dudes' heads off. Like I really do like that aspect of the game of what they did there. My thing, it seems like they just took every element of every good open world game out there and just threw it in this game. Like, here's your Far Cry elements, here's your Red Dead elements, and we're gonna throw it in this amazingly gorgeous looking game. Like I said pre-show, I had already said that Final Fantasy VII was my game of the year, but after seeing this, once I play this game, this might take the cake. I had been sold on this game since E3 last year when they showed it, but now even more so. After showing this, that I'm more sold on it. It looked gorgeous when they showed us E3, but we didn't know what exactly it was going to do or how it was going to look or how it was going to play. Now that we see this, like, you got elements of every favorite game you could think of, in this game, and put on top of that, make it samurai swords in Japan. I'm in. Sold.
Yeah. I'm honestly, like, I've been super hype on this game for a while, but it was one of those games I didn't think like you said, I didn't think it would maybe potentially, we don't know yet, potentially trump what I played with Final Fantasy this year. But now, like, there's a chance, you know what I mean? And that's,
a big chance.
That's pretty cool. But going back to,
you're saying that you're more excited for this than Final Fantasy?
I'm not. So first and foremost, I'm not a Final Fantasy VII like a fanboy or anything.
He's more Persona.
I like Final Fantasy VIII, and I've played like four Final Fantasies ever. So it's not like I don't hold it on a pedestal. So for me, it's like potentially this game could
like for
potentially
him,
trump it.
Persona's already.
Well, that's a whole nother
Game
ball
of the
game.
year.
Yeah,
that's a whole nother ball game.
Yeah.
No, Rex, like I had been on Twitter and me and Abaddon had talked and we were like, there's no way game is going to take our spot as game of the year. Like, I had said that on Twitter, I had said on everything, but then after seeing this potentially could take the cake. If it's the experience I think it's going to be, and if it's that immersive, this might do it. It looks phenomenal.
Yeah, and one thing too that, going back to like the gameplay stuff, for me, like, part of it was I was kind of happy to see a decent chunk of the gameplay, just because we didn't really know what you'll be doing in the game, right? We know it looked pretty. We know that there's going to be like really cool sword battles. They're going to have like this cinematic style, samurai showdowns, but we didn't really know like how's it going to feel to control, what are the mechanics? And I feel like now, like I'm good now at this point to be like, I'm going to kind of just wait, like what Rax is saying, I'm going to wait till July to actually like play it and I'm gonna kind of go silent. But I'm happy now that I know exactly what kind of game I'm getting into, right? Because alternatively, if this was maybe like Sekiro, I may be like, you know, it looks really pretty, but I'm not gonna play it. But now that I know,
Hey, when I saw the gameplay of it, when I saw like the small little
Yeah.
gameplay snippets of like a few months back, just like you were saying a second ago, we saw like two people standing off, and it looked like that's what it was. Like it looked like you go from one place to another, and then you get to one person, and you have these like slow. Oh, I'm gonna walk back. I'm gonna back up now. I'm gonna go forward a little bit. I'm gonna go back up. I'm gonna go slice. I'm gonna back up. It looked boring to me.
Yeah.
But after I saw today, when you can have like multiple enemies coming at you, you know, I think that the part is on the screen now or just passed. But when you have multiple different enemies like surrounding you or whatever, you can either have the ability to like, you know, go at multiple people, or like if someone's, you know, shooting arrows, you're flinging your sword around and deflecting arrows. It didn't look as stiff as I expected it to. The slowdown mechanic thing is a little strange to me. I don't know what's going on with that, but you know, like the slow-mo when he's like slicing people.
Yeah.
I think it's just a dramatic
I don't know.
effect.
I think it's
I hope it's not too much of that, because usually when games have too much of that, I'm like, okay, this is slowing down the pace of the game. Can I just please go? Like sometimes that's
it's probably only on like perfect moves.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say that. Yeah,
it's probably some ability too.
Yeah. But I mean,
like even when I'm playing Mortal Kombat and they do those X-ray moves, I can't even play Mortal Kombat anymore because people do those X-ray moves. I'm like, can we play the fighting game?
Yeah, I agree with that on that Mortal Kombat. X-ray moves.
But I mean, I like the different game styles for sure. I mean, when this was first premiered last year at E3, it was definitely one that I was like, okay, I'm interested in it, but I wanted to see more of it. So I'm glad that they showed it off today with like 2 months before it comes out.
Yeah.
It reminds me so much of Horizon. I know you guys are saying like other games like Red Dead and stuff, but like graphically speaking, like the way it plays, it reminds me exactly of Horizon. And I spent so many hours in that, like easily over 150 hours in that game. And doing all of the side missions were well worth it. Considering this is like the open world, yeah, you can beeline it and go straight through the story like you want. But I feel this is probably definitely going to have those side missions, right? Like how they kind of allured to it with like the fires off in the distance or following the animals. And I feel that those side stories is what's really going to like hone in on the backstory and the storytelling of this entire game. So I can't wait.
Yeah. I think what was going to...
Real quick,
yes,
just
sir.
before we move on, just
Yeah.
because I mentioned Mortal Kombat, if you guys have not seen that new Scorpion's Revenge animated movie,
No.
go pick that up, because it is the best. Like, it's probably one of the best animated movies that I've seen from WB at all ever. Like,
Even
I'm
trumping,
including
the
like
Batman stuff.
yes, like it is so good. It is
Wow.
really, really good. Like I was not expecting. Like I was really skeptical at first, and I know this. I'm kind of derailing the podcast, but this I had to bring it up because it just came out. And honestly, if you're a Mortal Kombat fan, you have to own this movie. It is so good. All right, move on.
Yeah, no, I'll put it on the list. I love WB animation, man. Even down to like the Superman stuff that they do, even down to like the Teen Titans stuff that they've done, or they're really
it does
top-notch.
it does have a Teen Titan-esque, like the old school Teen Titan-esque
Yeah.
animation style, but like I was blown away about how like I was super skeptical. I was like, man, last animated Mortal Kombat movie, The Journey Begins, was trash. I mean, we're talking about like 1995 or something like that, but it's just, this movie was absolutely incredible. The way that they did everything in terms of like keeping the lore intact with adding new characters, and like just the way that they kind of did like the slow motion stuff with some of the like the special moves. I'm not going to ruin too much of it, but it was such a good movie. You got to watch it.
Gotta check it out.
So, real quick question for you guys, because of the gameplay that's showing off right now. It's kind of showing off right now the stealth part to it. My question is, what kind of game style do you guys want to play? Do you guys want to play more of the samurai or more of the ninja?
Good question.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because personally, I asked Dom this earlier when They showed it off. I'll let him answer.
I said I'm Tom Cruise, baby. I'm gonna be samurai all day.
And I honestly feel like I'm gonna be the ninja. I like the stealthiness.
Yeah, I'll be ninja.
Yeah, I wanted to know what you guys.
I don't know. It just depends. I don't know. I enjoy playing games stealthy, but I'm really bad at playing stealthy, so I might end up just like when I played Batman Arkham City and Arkham Asylum. Like I hated being stealthy. Like it was just so annoying.
I'm
like,
with you there.
So I might go gung ho, but it almost seems like it's more rewarding and it looks more fun to play this game stealthy. I'm watching the gameplay now, like you're doing more things, being stealthy.
What I'm wondering too is like because it's based on the way you can play is based on your equipment. What I'm wondering is if you can kind of like mix the two, right? Like you're a samurai, but then you have a little bit of ninja equipment on you, and you're able to kind of. I wonder if there's like
stealthy toes, so you don't make sounds.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a balance. I'm sure there is, but I wonder if there is a balance.
I hope there is a balance, because I think that's what. Mind you, I'm gonna reference a lot of like Horizon because that's the one that's closest to me from what I would feel is similar to this, and you could like mix and match outfits, to make yourself more stealthier or make yourself more of like a personalized archer. So I wonder if like right now these totems, how it's going to balance your outfits, because with this stuff this is what's really going to correlate if you're better at being a ninja or being a samurai.
Like look at all these suits are showing right now. They're showing just regular suits, samurai suits, archer suits. Like I can't imagine. I just want to like play this. I just want to hurry up and play this game because I want to know what all this stuff does. On top of that, I remember like you guys said, do you even need to see more of this game? Like,
nope.
Like at the end, they were like, we're going to show you more. I was like, why?
No, yeah.
Like,
I'm
why
happy
do you
with
need to
what
show
they
us
showed
more?
me.
They're like, we'll have more details later. Like, no, you don't need to have more details later. You really just like don't show us anything else. You showed us exactly what we need to see, what it's about, what we're going to do. Don't show anymore.
Yeah, honestly, I was there day one. Regardless, all this did was solidify my purchase option of the game. And it just makes me regret not being able to swoop up the collector's edition because I did try.
What did the collector's edition come with?
It comes with the mask with the
I think
and I wasn't able to pre-order it, so it just makes me even more sad now.
Not to mention them flexing. Like they knew that they had so much in this game that they flexed us with the photo mode. Like whenever they came out with the photo mode, I was like, yo, this is just straight up flexing on everybody, like flexing on Microsoft and everybody else's gameplay. Look, even our game has this dope Instagram photo mode in the game where you can take pictures and everything. Like, yeah, they straight up flex with this state of play. Like this was actually Sony's best game of play.
I mean, Animal Crossing has photo mode.
Not like this.
No, not like this.
not like this.
I can't have cherry petals just like fluttering in the background.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
And,
I mean, you could.
Animal Crossing, and it doesn't have filters, racks. Come on, bro. Like, it's crazy.
You know what else
like,
had that? Spider-Man.
That's true. And then on top of that, then they added the black and white film.
Yeah,
where you can play that like you're playing like an old Japanese film.
As the beginning, like that's cool.
Yeah, what did you guys think?
I do like how they paid attention to like the culture of like samurai.
Exactly.
I don't know.
I mean,
and that's the crazy part about it.
I honestly don't think I'm gonna play it in the black and white, only because it's gonna take it away from like all the colors that I can immerse myself with.
Yeah.
But it's still damn cool that they give you the option to do it.
Yeah, they're definitely samurai movie buffs, and that's, I mean, just like Rax was saying, right? When the creators of the new Spider-Man game created Spider-Man, they did so because they were like Spider-Man just nerds and nuts. So this, you can kind of feel like they're really into samurai movies, which is really cool. Mm-hmm. Like it's really, really cool because that just it's gonna make our experience even better.
It's nuts.
And I'm ready, man. I'm ready for summer. I'm ready. I was worried about summer a little bit, but as the times moved on, I'm a little bit more.
I am with you on that, especially after Nintendo made their announcement as well. Like, summer's gonna be okay. I really thought summer was going to be really flat. I really thought all we were gonna get was Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima, and it was gonna be nothing else to play. But like, it seems like summer's gonna be just fine.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. Well, with that being said, you have a good transition point. Moving on, let's talk a little bit about Paper Mario, the Origami King. So this game is also going to be arriving on July 17th.
Same day?
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah,
crap.
same
So,
day. Rest in
double
peace, my
crap.
wallet that day.
Yeah, so double stuff. So real quick, just reading this report, it basically they announced today that 2020 was originally going to be like the year of Mario, and a lot of people, including ourselves, were expecting Mario news to happen. A lot of people were speculating remasters, potentially Mario 3D World coming to the platform, maybe a remake of Mario 64, but I don't think anybody really, honestly, really expected just a brand new Paper Mario game. And they're finally taking on the world of Origami. So, real quick, it looks like this time around, Bowser isn't the antagonist. They put here that, in fact, you can catch a glimpse of him helping Mario out during one of the screens shown in the trailer. The Origami King also features a new ring-based combat that Nintendo promises will put your puzzle-solving skills to the test. And it also looked like the jokes are back, too, so that's a huge part of the Paper Mario stuff. So, guys, Paper Mario's back.
They used to have in the game.
Yeah, dude.
Those low-key adult jokes they used to slip in those games, man.
Yep.
Was out of this world.
Yep.
I've never played the original Paper Mario, but just watching this,
It's a
it
shame.
looks adorable.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't been disappointed with a Mario game in a while, and I mean, seeing this, mind you, I don't know any of the jokes, I don't know any of the background from the original Paper Mario, but I like the twist that they have it, like incorporating the origami to it. I mean, the trailer itself was only like what 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, 2-3 minutes.
But it looks so fun. Like even the ending, with the, I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it until it plays at the very end. But it's just everything looks so amazing. I'm
Yes.
excited for it.
Yes.
Yeah, I noticed a couple things hidden in there and made a video about that. So if you guys want to check that out.
A word.
Well, make sure you
Okay.
head over, guys.
Okay, I'll head over there and check it out. Like, I feel like what they're doing with this game is like they're really trying to take the game back to its roots a little bit. As you mentioned, especially with the kind of how the story is. This story is very reminiscent. It's not the exact same, but it's very reminiscent of Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars. With the whole deal, someone shows up and it's not Bowser, it's a different antagonist, and Bowser helps you. Like it's kind of got those vibes with it a little bit. So I kind of got those vibes with it, and then on top of that, like I'm waiting for the trailer to play like Cynthia said because I don't want to ruin it for everything. But
Yeah.
like is that battle system looked really intriguing.
Yes.
Well, I want to see more about it because I kind of got the turn based, but I also kind of got not RTS, but like a Fire Emblem strategy feel to it as well with how it rotates and everything. And so I'm intrigued.
This is
If it goes
hilarious.
back, look at it.
Yeah.
I mean,
That
I'm
is
intrigued.
hilarious.
If it goes back to its roots, I'm with it because I never played Color Splash, but I watched people play it and it did not look fun.
Don't ever play Color Splash. If you want to be, if there's a game that will make you not want to play a Paper Mario game ever again, it's that game. Don't do it.
Oh my god! Like I never played Color Splash, and my wife got Sticker Star on the 3DS, and that looked kind of cheesy to me as well.
I never played Sticker Star. I don't know.
But I did play the first one. I did play Thousand Year Door. I watched gameplay. Oh no, what was the one on the Wii? Where you could go from 2D to 3D.
Super Paper Mario.
Thank you, Super
Yes.
Paper Mario. That one was a lot of fun.
That
I
was the
really
highest
enjoyed
selling
that
out of
one.
all of them.
Say what you like that one out of all of them?
No, that was the highest selling out of all of them.
Yeah,
Was it
like, that
really?
one was a lot of
Oh.
fun.
Yeah.
That was a lot
I
of
guess.
fun.
Yeah,
Well,
we had the biggest.
the Wii was like
Yeah.
we had crazy sales. So I mean, I equate it to that. I don't think it's the best out of all of them. I think most people would either go for like Thousand Year Door, or maybe the 64 one. But
I think
I thought Super Paper Mario was good. I skipped over Sticker Star and I didn't get Color Splash. I'm just not a big 3DS guy. Like I have a 3DS and I do enjoy it, but I was never a big handheld guy when it came to the 3DS in general. But when it came to the Wii U, that one just kind of flew by me because people were like talking trash about it, and I was like, well, I mean, if nobody's really enjoying this game and it's still $60, why am I gonna spend $60 and just join this club of trashing the game? Like, I don't need to do that. And then after it like got cheap, I just never got around to getting it because Wii U had died by then. So this one I'm actually excited about picking up just because, the 3D environments look pretty cool as well. There's so much about this one that really stands out from the others that I feel. And we've only seen, I don't know, a minute and a half of gameplay, and not even all of it was gameplay. A lot of it was cinematic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just a lot of the different things here look pretty interesting. The colors are crazy. The shadow effects in general are pretty awesome. The graphics are just pretty cool. I mean, it has like a very crafted world kind of vibe to it as well. And I was pleasantly surprised by crafted world. So I'm pretty excited to check this one out.
Yeah, I'm excited for the innuendos. I'm excited for a whole game full of paper dad jokes. Like, I am extremely excited about that because that's part of the charm of the original Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door, Super Paper. That was part of the charm, is like the really intriguing story and the funnies that it would give you and the legit laughs. And I'm also really excited. Just the whole origami aspect is just like, it's part of like, part of me is like, I can't believe they haven't done it before, but I'm glad that they are doing it now. And I also like, I think I was finding a Gamer Thumb on Twitter. I like that the very start of the trailer is kind of like evil-ish. Like, it's like,
yeah, very dark.
Yeah, a little dark, and I thought that was just so cool. I'm just very intrigued by it, and I think this is gonna kind of be similar to like what we just talked about, Ghost of Tsushima. I don't want to see anything else about the game. Nope. Like, even if there's a treehouse or whatever they do during the summer, like, I'm good. I'm just gonna wait. July's around the corner. It's crazy that it's around the corner, but it is. So I'm just gonna I can't wait to get my hands on it.
Well, I do want to see one thing. I want to see. I have to see the battle system. That's the one thing I absolutely want to see, is how that's gonna work out.
But do you though? Think about Fire Emblem. Have you watched somebody play Fire Emblem? It's not exactly the most like inviting thing in the world until you get your hands on it.
Right. But I still want to see it. Like, that's kind of if it's. The only reason I want to see it is because I want to make sure it's not a gimmick, and I want to make sure it's more turn-based, so it feels like an RPG. I don't want it to be something crazy. That's the only reason I want to see it. But other than that, that's the only thing I'm reserved on. I'm sold on everything else. I'm sold on everything else. Did you see people on Twitter talking about how the end of the trailer, when he puts on the Metroid helmet, how that was going to quote unquote an Easter egg, or Nintendo hinting that we might get a Metroid or something like that? Did you see that? Like, what do you guys think about that? Because I was like, I don't know. I just think it was more of a funny quip that they put in there.
Cute.
Yeah, I think it was just a joke that they added in there.
It's funny because, there is a lot. All right, so think about how many times, and this is all the stuff that I was kind of going over in my video, but I'll kind of say a little bit of it here. Just think about how many times over the past year and a half or so, maybe even 2 years at this point, they've been teasing stuff when it comes to Metroid. It's almost become like a meme, right?
Yeah.
Like Reggie with the pin on his shirt, just random stuff. And then, all these different times that we've seen like Metroid Prime Trilogy HD or whatever get popped up on Best Buy as a listing and then taken down. It's almost like a troll at this point. But at the end there's also something else that nobody else is really talking about, that's kind of in the corner that you don't really see. Did you guys notice that?
Nope.
No.
When it comes up again,
too busy looking at the Metroid stuff that was right there smacking you in the face, but there was something else in the corner.
Are you talking about the can that was moving?
Nope, that was a toad just chilling in a garbage can.
Oh.
Well, don't worry. I'm going to be watching this trailer then.
I was looking at the wrong corner.
Yeah.
There's something else at the end there. And that was one thing that I've been hearing rumblings about, a new game being developed for this series as well. Whatever. There's a Donkey Kong head in there. Right? Did you see the Donkey Kong head?
I didn't see it. No.
Didn't even pay attention to the Donkey Kong head.
So there's just a bunch of references in that one video.
Well,
maybe they're all
Nintendo
hits.
is really good about that.
I think that if they were trying to foreshadow anything, I feel like they were trying to be like, okay, Metroid, okay, blah blah blah, but
Right.
they purposely put like it's just super convenient that
Yeah.
they purposely put the Donkey Kong head just enough where you see half of the face sticking out and nothing else.
Okay, it's
And
coming
like,
up right now. Let me
why
look.
would that be there? You know what I'm saying? Like,
don't forget,
I
man,
mean, this could very well be just a
I
gimmick
see
where
it.
you put
Well,
on a helmet,
Yeah,
and then you
see
get
it along
power.
with the
So I was
Goomba.
talking about that as well.
No, I'm looking. I'm waiting on the
well-
on the podcast to see it.
Well, dude, it might have some merit because remember Retro Studios? Remember they were working on something
That nobody knows about.
behind the scenes before they swapped over to Metroid. Like people were like, "Is it Star Fox Racing? Are they doing this? There's a possibility."
Grand Prix.
Oh God, yeah,
man.
let that die. There's two
That
things. A, I think that's a possibility, and then B, for the Metroid stuff, in my heart, I feel like Nintendo's been sitting on the Metroid Prime HD trilogy for what must be like since the whole lifetime of the Switch. I feel like it's just a when they released that, which I'm assuming is a lot closer
sitting on
to. Yeah, they have to be. Like they have to be.
Just like they're sitting on Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword. Like they're sitting on all this stuff, dude. Nintendo is sitting on idea, just waiting in the shadows.
Also,
Just sitting here like Burns, just with their fingers together, just like win.
Also, think about though too. Like, let's say because of the pandemic, right? This year we're not getting maybe Breath of the Wild 2 is supposed to come out this year. Now it's not happening, right? Because Nintendo literally came out and said they're struggling just to make games happen right now because of all this craziness. Which is, I mean, we can understand that,
But then we get an announcement of Paper Mario, and now all of a sudden, like,
Yeah.
But
that's kind of weird to say.
This might have been in the cards though, but if let's say they release something that is in their backlog that maybe they were just holding on to, like Pikmin or Metroid, and that comes out this year, we all
never
forget.
coming. Stop.
It might happen. I'm
Stop.
gonna will it into existence.
Pikmin is
Pikmin's
not
coming back.
Happening
I don't care
ever.
for
Just
Pikmin.
stop. Like
It's
that's
fantastic.
those are the two. Look, there are two games in here that everybody keeps begging for, and I'm like, you're not going to get Pikmin and Mother 3. Just stop. Because
Okay, Mother 3. I'll give you that one.
like we're never getting those, and it hurts me to say that myself, but we're never getting those.
The thing
It just
Nintendo's
makes me
never
sad.
gonna give me is F-Zero. I just want F-Zero to come back. That's what I want. That's never gonna happen.
True.
Wait, what did Nintendo just say is not going to happen?
Mother
Pikmin,
3
Pikmin.
or a new Pikmin.
Oh,
Like I'm just saying, like it's just not gonna happen. Like
I thought you were gonna come back with. Well, actually, I heard
Yeah, I thought
rumblings.
you were
this
gonna
this
tear
dude
my
just
head
said,
off.
"Oh, okay." Oh,
He's
okay.
like, yeah,
Oh,
no, that ain't
that's never
happening.
coming.
well, I mean, Pikmin's more realistic than Mother, but I
Mother
mean,
3.
who cares about Mother 3 anyway?
I mean, I do. Don't get
Yeah.
me wrong, Rex. I care a lot
Yeah.
about Mother 3, but
Do you really though?
I do. I do care about Mother 3.
I don't know,
loved
man. I feel like
Earthbound.
that's one of those hype things that people get all like.
I played
What,
Earthbound.
Did you play?
I enjoyed it.
Did you play Earthbound?
Yes, and I enjoyed
Okay.
it.
Alright.
So I would be looking forward to Mother 3. But here's the thing about Mother 3.
You like
can get
Undertale too, don't you?
I do like Undertale. Undertale was one of my favorite games. But
Oh,
like
let
with
me not
Mother
even
3,
go down that dark path.
Well,
like with Mother 3, you can find a mod for it. You can find a translation out there, allegedly out there to play. You know, so
Yeah,
it's not like
I have it on the
big a deal.
Game Boy Advance.
See, there you go.
It's trash.
Ooh. Mm.
He said
I'm
it's trash.
The fighting words, dog. Fighting
sorry,
words.
but dude, someone's got to be the villain, man.
Nah, it's all good. Shadow says Star Fox Racing ? Yes, they were rumored to have Star Fox
Yeah.
Grand Prix, and it was going to be a racing game, which I don't know. I was kind of with it.
Nah, another
But-
YouTuber made that up, man.
That's crazy.
Hopefully, I would never want
Yeah,
that.
that
I don't
all
wanna see
that all came from another YouTuber. I don't know how it got like so. There
Blown
was
out?
we won't even go down there because I don't want to like name drop people.
No, yeah.
But that all came from another YouTuber, just like speculation, and didn't really state that he was speculating.
Didn't check his sources or
Oh.
something.
And it just blew up.
Yeah, exactly, because he had a large fan base.
Yeah, that makes sense. But all I can say is that I'm glad it was just somebody making it up because that's the last thing I want. I love Star Fox, man. And that's the last thing I want to see, especially since the remake of the N64 one just bombed on the Wii U because it wasn't that great. So
if we bring back any racing franchises, like you were saying before, Dom, it needs to be F-Zero and the Diddy Kong racing game.
Yeah,
agreed on both of those.
Yes.
Agreed on both of those. That's true.
You guys know that there was they were working on a sequel to Diddy Kong Racing, and that you were like racing on animals instead of like vehicles this time. Did you guys ever see the gameplay for that?
Nope.
No, but I don't know how I feel about that. It looks good.
What platform was it supposed to come?
It sounds really stupid, but when you look at it and you see the gameplay, it's actually kind of cool looking. But there's little gameplay snippets if you look around on YouTube. There's look up just like canceled Diddy Kong Racing or something like that. I'm sure you can find gameplay snippets, but it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. When it comes to the racing, like the racing genre, it's just I can only imagine that Nintendo is like Mario Kart is still selling enormously. I think probably maybe putting anything else that competes with their one golden game is like, what's the point? Huh?
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. With Diddy Kong Racing, it's not so much like, so if they did it the way that they did back in, the 90s or whatever, I think it was like it was late 90s.
Late 90s.
It was like 98 or something like that. Diddy Kong Racing came out on the same console that Mario Kart came out. They still had their space, because Diddy Kong Racing, it was just a completely different style of game. It was like an adventure game with cars. It wasn't specific. Like I don't think anybody really did multiplayer with Diddy Kong Racing. Like, hey, you want to do some multiplayer on Diddy Kong? No, like most people were like, oh, I can play this by myself because, even if I don't have a friend over, I have the ability to do multiplayer if we want. But, it was a good game that you could play by yourself. You had, what other game that you know of that's a racing game that had you go through a circuit and then you have a boss battle at the end of the circuit, and then you go back and then you can go get like the silver coin challenges and then go back and have even a harder boss challenge. It was just like super unique. Like there were so many different things, and it was so innovative for that time because there was so much that you could do. There was like a lot of replay value, and that game was actually pretty lengthy if you really think about it, especially for a racing game.
Yeah,
you had so much that you could do. That game was hard as hell, though. Jeez, was that hard? Trying to get to the space station where you like race Whizpig. That game was hard.
Whizpig for
we go
Smash.
Whizpig, yeah, I'm down for that.
Hey Dom, got a question for you. Since you love Star Fox so much, we were talking about Star Fox.
Yeah.
Star Fox Assault, yay or nay?
Yay. I love that game.
Okay.
Star Fox Assault is great.
Yeah, it's great.
I know there's some people that hated that game, and
Star Fox Adventure.
Okay,
I'm yay on Star Fox Adventure for what it is.
Yay! I don't care that it was just.
I was yay on that one.
It's just Star Fox painted on a different game. I had a really good time and have really good memories in that game. I really like it.
Yeah, I was big on Star Fox Adventures too, but Assault, like I know a lot of people were mad because it wasn't Andross and it was another new enemy, but I like that. I actually enjoyed that game, and then getting out of the ship, using your gun, getting back in the ship. That transition was dope. I absolutely adore Star Fox Assault. I know a lot of people didn't like it though, so I just want to ask if you.
I love Assault. The only one that's ass is the Wii U one, and it's just because they just I don't know.
The motion controls is what made that bad. The game itself wasn't bad.
No, it's that they make you use the gamepad. It's just just makes it not intolerable, but just makes it unpleasant. And the only way you can use the actual controller is if you do co-op, and it just makes it. It's just not great. That one needs to come over. If they brought that over with just normal controls, that would probably be a lot more successful, but we'll see what ends up happening.
Yeah.
What if they did that? Then would you play it? Like they're like, hey, we're bringing back Star Fox Zero, but guess what? You don't have to use the touchpad. We get regular controls with it.
I would be much more inclined because then it's just a remake of the N64 version, essentially, at that point,
and
which is what I wanted.
You think it would be successful at that point?
I think so.
Well, maybe that's what's gonna happen.
But they can't call it Star Fox Zero. They should just call it like Star Fox Switch or
Zero
Star Fox
S.
Deluxe.
You can call it Star Fox Zero S.
Yeah,
Star Fox Zero S. The S stands for Switch. There you go.
There you go.
They already do with Mario Kart 8. It's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Exactly. Just give us a deluxe version. We're all good. Well, there's another game, guys, coming out very, very soon. It's coming out this September. And in a line of games that we're talking about that we want, we may not have necessarily been clamoring for this, but we're getting it. And now we just all hope that it's actually good and that it's handled with care. And that is going to be Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 getting remastered on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Nothing for Switch yet, unfortunately. We don't know exactly why, but is it a possibility? Probably in the future. But Activision and Vicarious Vision, so Vicarious Vision, they're the ones who did the Crash remake. They are partnering together with Mr. Hawk himself, and they had a whole thing with Jeff Keighley's Summer of Games, which is actually it's turning out to be really cool what he's doing. But they had a whole thing to where they introduced the game, they talked about what they were doing, they talked about their plan, they talked about the care that they're putting into here, and they're talking about that they're bringing over quality of life stuff from Tony Hawk 3 and 4 and bringing it back into 1 and 2 just to make it a lot more convenient and make it a lot better of an experience for us. So with that being said, what did you guys think of the announcement and what they're doing? And was this even in the cards for you guys?
I mean, when it came to the announcement, I wasn't really surprised because I already kind of knew about it a couple of weeks prior. But when, they announced it, I'm definitely impressed by the visuals themselves. The lighting effects are really, really cool.
Yeah.
The character models are awesome. It looks absolutely incredible. Like the 4K stuff looks nuts. I do have my concerns about frame rate with that though, because this game is a pretty fast game, but based on the stuff that we've seen, it doesn't look like it's slowing down too much. But I think a lot of people are going to be skeptical just because of how terrible number 5 was. And I really hope that people don't equate this to 5. If you look at this, you can tell right off the bat that it does not play like 5 in any way, shape, or form. It is way faster. It like you were saying before, it looks like it has like the engine of like 3 and 4, but with visuals of like today's standards, which is, in my opinion, incredible. Just because 3 and 4 were pretty much the peak of the series. Yeah. Because after that, you did have Underground, which had the same kind of mechanics almost. But just seeing the reflection in the water, the lighting, the way it's reflecting off of them, the shadows, just like all of that stuff kind of really gets to me. I really like the way that this generation has kind of gone into paying more attention to the realism of lighting because, global illumination is really, really crazy. There's a lot of really good stuff that's going on with this. And, it's unfortunate they're not using the old soundtrack, but I totally get it. On PS4, you have Spotify that you can turn on while you're playing games. So, in all honesty, if at this day and age, if you don't turn on Spotify and play Tony Hawk with the original soundtrack, then you're bugging. But I'm excited, man. The collector's edition was really cool. I thought they had a really awesome collector's edition for this one, given kind of like a throwback to the old school Birdhouse decks that had, the Tony Hawk graphics on there. It isn't one of the originals, but it has that aesthetic of what it used to be. It has the original Tony Hawk kind of dead bird logo on there, but yeah. It looks really good, man. I'm super excited for it. I hope that this does well because I hope that if this does well, they will take this engine and make a new Tony Hawk and not some bogus thing. And their selling point is, hey, Lil Wayne's in our game.
Oh God. Oh God.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No hate on Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne's the GOAT, but geez, I don't really, when I think skateboarding, I don't think Lil Weezy. Okay, my brain doesn't, put those two together. But
you don't think
it is what it is.
You don't think Weezy when it
comes to skateboarding? No.
Yeah, you remember when he tried to skateboard for a minute and tried to rock music for a minute?
Remember when he tried to have a rock album? Remember when he tried to rock album? Dude, what has he not tried to do? That's why it doesn't equate
bruh.
What?
Remember when he went on tour with Blink-182?
Yes.
Last year? It was awful.
Yeah.
I saw videos of it. It was terrible. And then dude walked out during the middle of the tour because everybody hated it. It was hilarious.
Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm completely with you, man. Like, if I think back in the day to games that I have just completely lost a ton of time in, the Tony Hawk series is definitely one of them. I mean, if you were a kid in the
I
90s,
still play these on Xbox.
Essentially, like, you were into skateboarding, you skateboarded. This was the game. You know, everyone had that game that, like, if you don't know what to play, you just mindlessly play a game, and that was always the whole Tony Hawk series. I think I fell off after Underground because I'm sure most people did, but
yeah, America's Wasteland.
Yeah, it's still fantastic.
I mean, Project 8 was really good, but it didn't feel like traditional Tony Hawk anymore at that point.
Yeah.
That's when I felt like it kind of started to go downhill. Like, I mean, they had a couple of cool things in there. Like, it was at that point, it was kind of like, I think Skate had come out before that. So I think that they had tried to do like a couple of things that was like reminiscent of Skate, but not like totally ripping it off.
Skate's what ruined the series, in my opinion, because of
a new standard for skateboarding games in general. I don't feel like it ruined Tony Hawk because I feel like Tony Hawk is definitely its own thing.
No, I mean by that is because Skate allowed you to control the board. I feel like they were trying to like replicate kind of like what they went away from what felt right in Tony Hawk and tried to do what they were doing. And that's why they went away from that before that. I mean, hell, did you play Tony Hawk Downhill Jam on the Wii? No. Why would I ever play?
Or even in American Wasteland, they added bikes. Like, they didn't know what to do with that series anymore. Like, that they were screwing these games up before Skate came out. Trust me. They tried to bring it back and like replicate what they did in Skate. They like took a little bit of what was successful on the original games. They took a little bit of like inspiration from Skate, I think. I don't know if those two came out at the same time or which one was first, but the whole thing where you like went into slow-mo and it's like, do your flip trick. Like, I don't know, just like, I think slow-mo in a skateboarding game, it's kind of whack.
Cheat mode.
I don't know if it's cheat mode. It's just I don't know. It's just kind of boring. Like,
I know, but the whole thing about Tony Hawk was for the precision of the game. Like, you put slow motion in there, it removes the precision of the game. Like, you got to time these things out and get your combos while doing 720s. And,
well, skateboarding is supposed to be fast anyway. Like, you ever like any of you guys skateboard?
Yeah, I did when I was a kid.
Like, when you're flying down, you don't have time to think, man. It's like flip trick, land. Okay, that was like the whole adrenaline of it. Like, it's like, if you don't get that thing done like that, it's like, okay, bro, you're eating street.
Yeah.
The other cool thing about this too is as I was watching just some B-roll, some gameplay of what's coming, is I thought it was really cool to be able to see some of the old professionals that you just haven't seen or heard of their names in God knows forever. Mm-hmm. And I love being able to see that because it just brought back like, oh yeah, I was a fan of this person. I was a fan. It's like all
Bucky
that kind
Lassick,
of comes back.
baby.
Yo, did you see Jack Black's video about Tony Hawk?
No.
So the day that they announced this, Jack Black on Jablinski Games, go watch that video because he has Kareem Campbell, Alyssa Steamer, Steve Caballero. He's got Chad Muska. He's got Eric Costin. He's got so many people in his video. And like the video starts out and it's Jack Black. Obviously, you guys know Jack Black is a Tenacious D, does music and everything. It starts out with him jamming out with Steve Caballero's band because back in the day, Steve Caballero's band was like something that was like pretty widely known that he was a musician. So it starts out with him jamming, and then after that jam session, Tony Hawk pulls him off to the side and he's like, "So I've got a surprise for you." He's like, "What?" And he's like, "We're remastering Tony Hawk 1 and 2. And he's like, "What?" And then he's like, "I've got another surprise for you. I've brought the game here for you to play it." So he plays it with his kids. And then they go to like I forget what the skate place was, but it's in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5. and they have like a little skate demo. Like it's Jack Black trying to learn how to skateboard. It's a really funny video. You should really check it out. It was I liked that video more than I liked the reveal of the damn game. It was just so cool, and it was just so down to earth, and you got to like see the skateboarders of the original game, and like he's like talking to them, and it was just so much more personal. It felt more nostalgic than the actual reveal of the game. It was pretty cool.
That's legit. That's legit. No, we have to check it out. Yeah, I don't know if I follow Jack Black's channel. It's probably why.
Jablinski Games.
Jablinski.
That's legit though.
Like,
yes.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to playing this game. That's just about it. It's just a nostalgia factor to me. I'm looking at the artist list because really the big thing about me with Tony Hawk was the music.
Absolutely, it's what made
that
it.
Soundtrack is just phenomenal.
Iconic.
Iconic. But I'm looking at some of the arts they have on there, and it doesn't look like it's going to be too bad. They have Goldfinger, so I'm assuming they're going to bring back Superman, which is perfectly fine. They got Primus. I'm going to assume they're going to bring back what's that? Jimmy was a race car driver, whatever that song was called. I can't remember. And they got Rage Against the Machine on there. So
Jerry was a race car driver.
Right. So you got Goldfinger, Rage Against the Machines, Naughty by Nature, Primus. I'm good. Lagwagon, Bad Religion.
Dude, I heard they're adding Trapped Headstrong onto this stupid game.
Nah, bro, take that somewhere else. Take that somewhere else,
dude.
Take that somewhere else. Like here. I don't need that, but. As long as you keep some of the classics and you add some new ones, I'm good. But because like the OST really made this game, like you were introduced to so many good bands when you were younger that you probably wouldn't have known about if it wasn't for this. Like I wouldn't know.
I feel like partially. I feel like I'm speaking for me, but yeah. I mean, how old are you, Nick?
I'm 31. I had to think about.
Okay, so we're around the same age,
right?
This game really kind of not only started me with skateboarding, but it really launched me into like doing music too. Like,
right, exactly,
bro.
Dude.
That whole scene after that was so crazy. Like, what a scene to be a part of. Like, I know that the emo scene was cool and all this stuff, and like, whatever. But this scene was just totally different. It felt like so free. It felt like you like, even though it was just music or whatever, but like something about that time frame and listening to the music just it made you.
But like it was the height of X Games. Like X Games was really popular at the time. It was at the height of that.
Dude,
like
I remember watching X Games before high school every single morning.
At the tail end of rollerblading.
Right. Like I live in a town. I live in a small town of like maybe 4,000 people, maybe 6,000. But in that small town on the height of this game, Xbox, like skateboarding was a culture in that small town. Like kids would go, like it got them to actually build a skate park in the area. Like,
dude.
That's how popular it had got in a small
the amount of times I ran from the police at that time.
Right. Wow. Like it's nuts. That's how much this game means like
this
to culture.
This even sprung other games though too, because this sprung Dave Mirra, this sprung
Matt Hoffman, Kelly. That's what I say. Activision had
Sean
a whole
Palmer,
line of
Kelly Slater.
To this. Exactly.
Yo,
Sean Palmer, Kelly Slater.
When I was in high school, I tried freaking what is it? Snowboarding for the first time just because I was playing the game. Oh yeah.
So I have a quick question for you guys. I remember playing one of them. I don't remember which of the skater games I played, right? But my question is, are you guys even at all like intrigued with like the online thing that they're trying to implement?
No.
What?
Okay. I mean, I'm not, bro. But let's be real. I mean, that's gonna be a cool little perk, but for me, no. Like this game is like for me, I'm not interested in the online thing. It'll be a cool little perk, but for me, it's just what I'm watching right now. I want to string combos together and just get that nostalgia and play it. Like
you're not gonna build any.
But you didn't play this back in the day with your friends and like do like the high score challenges.
No, we did. Like we did that.
That was
stuff.
a passive controller type thing, though. That wasn't
right.
For me, that wasn't. I don't want to play
at the same
with
time online deal.
I don't know, but like I feel like that's I don't know, man. Like because when it comes to playing online games, like if anything's gonna make me want to play something online, I feel like it's something like this with the nostalgia factor of like, oh, I have so many memories of like playing this game with my friends because this game, Thrasher, Grind Session, all of these games like were
Session, bro.
Yo, those games are like don't even get me started on this. But just playing all these games and then going out and doing like going out and actually skateboarding those are like some of the best memories of my entire life, man. So like when it comes to, this is just me, I'm biased just because skateboarding was such a huge part of my life. But, you know, something that really would make me get back into playing online games and like put the headset on and talk to my friends and like, like I feel like this would be one of those games that's really going to get me to make sure that I have my online memberships paid up and up to date. Like my Xbox Live, I haven't had Xbox Live in 2 years, I think. But for this, I will, like, if I have friends on both Xbox and PlayStation, I'm signing up on both. I'll pick up the game on both. I'm going to play the hell out of this game. Let's bring it on,
Question
dude.
for you, Rax. Question for you.
What's up?
So when you get this, are you going to more so get it on PlayStation or Xbox, or what platform are you going to more so would be more likely?
I don't really have like a bias to a platform, so it really kind of boils down to what I was just talking about before. Because if I have friends that are going to want to play this and like really want to get down and like play, I'm going to go wherever. I'll be totally honest with you. I would not be surprised if I don't pick this up on multiple platforms.
So
fair enough.
Is this coming to Switch?
No, it's not coming to Switch. That's what we were talking about. It needs to come to Switch, though. I feel like they have a hit on their hand if it came to Switch.
I mean, I would say that it definitely probably has to do with frame rate. It probably has to do with, limitations at that point, because if they're having to sacrifice frame rate or something like that, Tony Hawk is one of those games that needs to be fast and needs to be, super smooth. So
what will probably end up happening is exactly what happened to Crash Team Racing or Spyro or the Crash.
It comes out months later.
No, they'll probably have a different company like work on a just Switch port of it, because that's typically what they do. Is they hire a company like Blue Point or something like that, and they're the ones that handle it. Because Vicarious Visions probably won't be the ones actually like.
Well, I mean, we got Skater XL coming to Switch, so
yeah.
It's not like they're going to be missing out on everything, but
Pro Skater, bro.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's not Tony Hawk, though. That's the thing. Like,
True.
Tony Hawk it's just got the name behind it. Like, this
and
game.
it's weird because this will be the first time that a Tony Hawk like this won't be on a Nintendo platform, if that's the case. Because if you think about it, it was on GameCube, it was on 64, it was on Wii, it was on pretty much everything. DS.
Yeah, my
Boy.
my memories are attached to PlayStation, Dreamcast, and GameCube. I had all of them on those, and then I even have the N64 versions of them just because I like the game.
Yeah. In all honesty, before the Dreamcast version came out, the 64 version was like my go-to. I like the PlayStation version. What?
The Xbox version, whenever the Xbox came out later and they put out a Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 on the Xbox.
I have that too, man.
Yeah, I love, dude. I think that back when I was playing these games, the Dreamcast version was like the definitive version, and then the Xbox stuff came out later. But by that time, like, I don't know, other games had come out that
M3 was on its way.
You know what I mean? Like stuff that was going on. But damn, I lost my train of thought. What the hell was I just talking about? I hate when that happens.
Dreamcast was the definitive
2X, because this is essentially 2X, because 2X had 1 and 2 in one game. So this is almost like a remake of 2X, really.
Right.
Which is still really cool. Before we get off this topic too, I know Nicholas had a really good point in chat. Since it is Activision, just gotta throw the word microtransactions out there. Do you think they're gonna ruin the game at all?
What could they possibly add?
I don't know. I'm asking.
There's no way you can add anything to like make you better. Maybe they might sell you some skateboards with dope stats on it or something. Like that'd be the worst thing they could do. I
don't see them doing that.
I don't see them doing it for like to make your character any better. I can probably see them doing it for like cosmetically speaking, like
music.
Well, because they said that they were gonna have.
They better not sell us music, dog.
No, the music.
They better not sell us music.
But they said there's gonna be like exclusive skateboarders and like decks and all this stuff. I think the customization, if there are any microtransactions, that's probably gonna be the biggest focus.
I feel like at $40, if the game's coming out at $40, so in all honesty, if they were planning on doing something like that, I feel like the collector's edition, they probably would have announced some kind of like season pass or some kind of BS to go along with it. So I feel like I'm not putting anything past Activision. It's very likely that they could do something like that, and then you know that their track record has, you know, let's say what Call of Duty Black Ops 4. They started that whole thing. They let the whole game come out, get reviewed, and then they started doing the whole microtransaction junk right up in after the reviews came out. So it's not foreign to a company like Activision to do some BS like that. But I really hope, I'm going to stay positive and hope that they don't, because I mean, skateboards should be like this game was all about unlocking the board. So if they do some crap like that when they start putting some money into it, I'm going to be real pissed off.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I highly doubt it. I just kind of wanted to see if that would maybe even be a thing. Now, I dropped off pretty early after I completed the game, but Crash Team Racing, I heard that they added some kind of microtransactions to that. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah.
Do you know what they added to it? Because I honestly don't know. I haven't booted that game up since literally like a few weeks after
in
it
specific,
came out.
I don't remember what they added. I think it was something like nitro boosts or something. Like it was like something. I forget what the hell it was. I haven't played that game in a while either.
Yeah, I mean,
it was a good game though.
It was a good game.
People got pissed as hell.
Yeah, I remember. But after that point, I was like, I already shelved it. I already kind of had my fun with it. I mean, worst case, maybe it's something of that nature to where months down the road they do something to revitalize it or something like that. But I highly doubt anything would happen. And I think the collector's edition, like you were saying, it comes with some kind of DLC or there's something like a little
early access, I believe, to one of their skate parks.
Yeah. So I'm excited about it.
By pre-ordering, that's what I was listening to when they announced it. By pre-ordering, you get exclusive, like a park, exclusive only by pre-ordering. You get to play it early before the game comes out. I don't know how early, so I mean, like when does the game come out?
September.
If anything, maybe
September 4th?
If anything, maybe it's like a week before it comes out, 2 weeks like they normally do. But yeah, that's the two things that you get with pre-ordering. Well, I mean, and then with the collector's edition, you get the skateboard.
Yeah, fair enough.
Hey, Rax.
Yeah.
Which one was your favorite Tony Hawk?
Which one was my favorite Tony Hawk?
Yeah, like which one was your when you think Tony Hawk Pro Skater, you immediately go to the game.
I mean, one will always be the classic, the most nostalgic for me, but two was definitely the one that I played the most, probably.
Two? Mine was 3.
Yeah. I mean, I liked 3. Don't get me wrong. I loved 3. I loved because that at that point the graphics had taken a huge jump because I got 3 on
the mechanics. It was so
OG
great.
Xbox. Yeah, and like there was a lot of different things that they added into the game when it came to interacting with characters. Because in 2, yeah, you like see people and they're like, but like in 3, it was like you're actually like going up to someone, talking to them. You see a dialogue box, and then you have like a mission kind of thing going on. And 2, it was sort of like that, but you still had that like list of things that you did. If I'm remembering correctly. So
yeah, for me, it was definitely 3. Like 3 kind of. I feel like 3 is what changed the game because you got 1 was the base, and you had 2, and they kind of expanded on it. But then when 3 came out on the next gen, I feel like that was really what started to define like that genre of there, because 3 just started it with whether it came to the what's the system I'm talking about, just doing the nollies and stringing everything together and like you said, the speed of it got much faster with these ones. And
on 3 you can hold the triggers to do your moves,
reverts.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, like they really pushed it forward with 3, and that's why I love 3 so much. Just in that, and also the OST. That OST was pretty phenomenal in 3 too, but 3 was just up there. I loved it.
I don't know. I think I have to go with 2 myself, just because that Dreamcast, the Dreamcast version, I think was.
See, I never got to play the Dreamcast version.
That was it.
I got both 1 and 2 on Dreamcast.
Yeah.
I think I've bought so many copies of Tony Hawk over the years. Like I've got so many copies of that game.
I have Tony Hawk 3 on the N64, and I bought it just because I was like, I was playing on the GameCube when I was young. I was like, I wonder what it looks like on the 64. Let me boot it up there.
Dude, it was bad.
Is that the one with the yellow cartridge?
No, it's black.
It's black.
Yeah, it's black. Tony Hawk 3 is black. Yellow.
Yeah.
Which one? Yeah, yellow sounds familiar.
2 was yellow, I think. Blue was the first one. 2 was yellow, and then 3 was
Yeah, 3's black because the sticker looks like doo-doo on it. That's partially why I really like it. Because it looks really bad. But the games doesn't look great on the 64 either. But
I was PlayStation gang over here, so I didn't have those color cartridges back in the day. But man, I remember when Tony Hawk 3 came out, both generations, and
yep.
I played 3 on the PlayStation 2 first because I didn't have a PlayStation 2 at the time. I had a GameCube. But my buddy got it for the 2, so I went to play it. And then my mom was like, hey, I rented Tony Hawk 3 for you. And I was really excited, but she didn't. She got it for the wrong thing. She got it for the PlayStation version, not the GameCube version. For whatever reason, my mom just thought that was what I wanted to do, was play the old version. So I played that one, and that was not a enjoyable experience. Going from the PlayStation 2 version to the PS1 version, it was not a good experience. It was an awful experience.
Yeah, I associate 3 with the GameCube. I don't know. There's something about
same.
That's the one.
Same. Man, that generation of gaming, the GameCube, PS2, and Xbox was just.
That's probably my favorite.
That's my favorite generation of gaming across the board, dude. It was so many things happened. So many Tony Hawk games came on those systems. So many. It's just so good.
Dude, the graphical leap was just crazy back then.
Ridiculous,
I remember, I remember having my 64 on my PS1, and then when the PS2 came out, they had a demo unit. Yeah, I had a Saturn and stuff, all that stuff. But the demo unit for the PS2, when I saw that in the store for the first time, they were showcasing some kind of dirt biking game, and seeing the spotlights alone as you're going through the dirt bike arena and the dirt kicking up, and I was just like, what is this? I was like, this is crazy. Just the smoothness of everything. Because you got to remember, when you're talking about PS1 and 64, we're talking stiff polygons that look like block toys. And then going into something that has fluid motion almost. I mean, you still had hands that were kind of stuck like this, but at least their wrist moved. You know what I mean? It was just, I don't know, man. It was just crazy.
Remember going from Metal Gear Solid 1 to Metal Gear Solid 2 and the mind blowage that happened from that? Because Metal Gear Solid 2 is.
Gear Solid person.
I know, but I'm just saying that transition, you mentioned, Rax, when you go from Metal Gear Solid 1 and then you go play, what was it, Sons of Liberty, the second one?
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal.
Dude.
Phenomenal.
Every generation of gaming, up until probably a little bit recent, I've always said the same thing. Games are never going to look better than this. And I've had one game that always gave me that moment, but when we swapped from PS1 to PS2 or that generation, I was a huge Gran Turismo fan. I played Gran Turismo more hours than it's healthy. And when Gran Turismo 3 was shown off on PS2, I was like, wow. That's a car.
Gran Turismo was one of those games that had crazy graphics for even on PS1. I remember Gran Turismo on PS1, and I remember being like,
whoa. Dude, right, and then you go to 3.
In the windshield, holy crap!
I was playing Daytona USA on the freaking Saturn, and I played Gran Turismo for the first time, and I was like, well, I'm never playing Daytona again.
Well, Daytona's classic, man.
Yeah,
Daytona! Let's get away! I love that
song. Oh my gosh, man. I'll never forget that era.
All right, so we have a last couple of subjects for the night. We'll kind of speed run through here. There's a couple that kind of lapse over a little bit. The last couple of things of the night were, again, with the summer game stuff that's Jeff Keighley's been doing. They showed off potentially what the PS5 is going to look like. They show us the Unreal Engine 5 that's coming out. So they went over kind of exactly what maybe we can expect games to look like going into next gen. With that being said, there was also another couple of interesting news articles that came out, which were Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I don't know if you guys saw the news earlier in the week that Ubisoft came out and said that's going to run at 30 frames per second. So I thought those were kind of a couple of interesting stories to kind of put together, just because it sounds like the Unreal demo that we saw was also running in 30 frames. But one key word that I think Rax mentioned earlier was global illumination. They spent a lot of time on what lighting is going to look like next gen and what just next gen games will look like in general as well. So I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on the last couple of news stories here.
What's the question?
Just talking about what you guys thought about the Unreal Engine 5 showing and what PS5 games are going to look like, and then the news about Assassin's Creed Valhalla running at 30 frames because that caused a little bit of a kerfuffle on the internet.
I mean, to be honest with you, who gives a shit about Assassin's Creed at this point? Like, Assassin's Creed has been so ran into the ground. Like, let it die. Good. Okay. I'm glad it runs at 30 frames. I hope people fucking forget about that game. It's cool that they're going Norse mythology, but like, come on, dude. Assassin's Creed is like the Madden of fucking adventure games. Like, shut the fuck up about Assassin's Creed. It doesn't really. I don't think that a third-party game, even though Xbox really needs the support of third-party developers, I don't think that Assassin's Creed is really that Assassin's Creed has had problems on every freaking new launch of everything. Remember, what was it, Unity or Syndicate that came out when like, the fucking eyeball, like you didn't see the characters' faces; you just saw their eyeballs. There was just crazy stuff with it. Don't even get me started on Assassin's Creed. I hate that damn series. But sorry, I started rambling about junk. What was the other game? You got me so mad about freaking Assassin's Creed. I forgot about the other shit.
They showed us that demo for the PS5.
Oh yeah,
they showed us that tech demo.
The lighting effects, the global illumination and stuff like that, the particle effects. I mean, triangles, I guess. But I mean, as long as they have like the whole ray tracing thing going on where like you have real-time illumination, I think of that as like really the big leap when it comes to this next generation is the particle effects and the global illumination stuff. I don't think we'll see a large graphical, difference, because not only if you can have the power all you want, but if developers don't know how to utilize it or don't have the funds to put the time and effort into something like that, a lot of these companies are not going to want to put a lot of money into the stuff like that in the beginning, just because it's a big risk. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, we want to use all these features and go crazy with all of the different new features, and sometimes they're going to be probably playing it safe just in the beginning, because every console generation that has come out, you see this evolution of graphics and gameplay like kind of evolve over time. So like, for example, when PS4 came out, you had crap like Knack, okay? You had what was it? Killzone Shadowfall. Killzone Shadowfall did look good, but if you take the games that came out at that time, like even Rise, let's say Rise Son of Rome, okay? Rise Son of Rome looks good for its time, but if you take that and compare it to something like Metro Exodus or something, you know what I mean? Like that is just a completely night and day type of thing.
Absolutely.
Rise Son of Rome almost looks like claymation compared to that. So it really just depends on what developers are going to choose to use in the launch of these consoles. Assassin's Creed, sorry, get out of here. I really don't care. You've had your chance to win people over. Like, just get out of the way. Like, let new stuff come out. I'm excited to see new IPs. I really don't care about Assassin's Creed. Ubisoft, I've never seen Ubisoft be ones to, really be leading the way when it comes to power and frame rate. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a company that I go, man, Ubisoft, man, they really know how to push the limit of a console. No, like Insomniac Games, people like that, Naughty Dog, companies like that, people that know how to push the limits of a console. Right now, off the top of my head, the only things that I can think of when it comes to, an Xbox franchise is going to be, Microsoft themselves. Like they push the limits with things like Forza, and I really hope that they do some stuff with Halo. I'm really getting kind of concerned that we haven't seen much Halo.
Yeah, me too. A little bit.
The last trailer that we saw, cinematic, and it was. I mean, I freaking love Halo. Okay, love Halo,
Same
but
here.
it wasn't that impressive to me. Like the facial animations and stuff like that of the character in the ship talking to Master Chief, it just wasn't that impressive to me personally. But we've had almost 2 years go by now, and we haven't seen much of anything.
And they're still saying it's coming this fall.
Well, I mean, I'm expecting to see something June.
Hopefully.
About
I really hope
July.
so.
They said July they were gonna have their next show, and they said that's when we'll
July
see
or June?
the first part of games from Xbox. It was July. I'm pretty sure it was July or June.
I
can't remember what
I
I
feel
said.
like,
Either way,
I feel like they're really kind of playing it safe to see what PlayStation's going to do too, because PlayStation absolutely mopped the freaking floor with Xbox this generation. So they're probably like reserving stuff to be like, okay, PlayStation, blow your load. Okay, here you go. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I really hope that they do that
that
and they play it smart this time around, because I love Xbox. Don't get me wrong. I love Xbox and I really want to see them succeed. And if you really think about it, we kind of need the quote unquote console wars, because if one console is just the only thing that you buy, that gives that company the ability to kind of really do whatever the hell they want. It's no longer they're competing with anybody, and they just, this is what it is. If you don't like it, boo-hoo. You know what I mean? So you need companies that'll be like, oh, they aren't going to do what you want? We'll do that. Come to us. And we'll do that. You know what I mean? Like, that's the whole best thing about console wars. It's not so much the fanboyism of people getting on Twitter and being like, yeah, dude, Sony over Xbox, bro. So Xbox over Sony, bro. Like that part of it is really kind of annoying. But when it comes to the actual like companies battling it out with each other and like kind of taking jabs, I mean, it's only natural for, people to have a side that they take, because it is what it is.
Well, Rax,
I feel
like I said, the best generation of gaming was, I felt like, the PS2, Xbox, and GameCube. And what happened? You had three companies duking it out, pushing the limits. And I felt like, why?
Benefited the gamers.
It benefited the gamers, and then when one goes away or one falls off, what happens to your example?
I don't know, man. I'm really hoping that, like Rax said, I really hope that Xbox has the bitch slap ready to come out, man, because I've been so worried about them, just because I feel like they've had, like, this last week, man, I feel like they had such a good opportunity with that whole, we're going to show gameplay, etc., and they just dropped the ball. I just feel like, I'm really hoping, because like Rax said, I really have a soft spot for Xbox. Like, I love I love the brand. The only thing I don't love is the UI and their voice chat, but I love the brand. I love the games. My nostalgia goes all the way back to all the original Halos, the gear. Like, I'm there. Every Forza, it's in my collection. I'm there day with, like, all of it. But they need these, really big slappers to come out, because what we just saw today was Ghost of Tsushima. Sony has them in droves. Spider-Man 2, Horizon 2, they have them in droves. They can just drop them. Obviously they can't just drop them at any time, but they could drop the announcement of them existing at any time, and they just immediately erase anything Xbox is doing. Because then what does Xbox say? We have Gear 6. No shit, we know. What else do you have? Where's the next
that's
anything?
I agree. That's really what it comes down to. Like here's the thing that what kills me about the quote is he was like, the PS5, we got our hands on it. It's so impressive because we can do this and that. My question is, well, did you even touch the Xbox? Did you even get one? I feel like you said, Xbox has been so quiet. We don't know. And I hope that they do have something to the point, because I really want these two consoles to be pushing. My only issue is I feel like what we're hearing from the Xbox and Microsoft part, like camp, I don't think they care too much about consoles anymore. That's kind of the scary part about it. Like, I feel like they're more concerned with pushing their games and getting you in Game Pass. Like, I feel like that's their focus, that they're just going to keep making like a powerful console, but that's not going to be their focus. And that's
fine. They can focus on the software, but we need the software. Again, I'm
exactly.
I'm
and we
happy.
Don't have it.
Like the last generation, I love State of Decay. We love Sea of Thieves. I love Forza Horizon. Like, these are the games I play constantly, but these aren't the they're the 10, 15
not
million
bangers.
game sellers. You know,
Yeah.
it's there's a niche amount of people like myself who like, oh yeah, I love State of Decay 2. It's one of my games of the year that year. But that's me and 2 other people. Everyone else is like, oh, I play God of War. It's like, yeah, you did play God of War, didn't you, on the PlayStation?
Right.
It's,
Well, Dom, I mean, if that Inside Xbox is any indication, I don't feel like there's gonna be a lot of hope, because what they showed us there, I know they were quote unquote third party games, but if that's what they're gonna push us, which is nothing but doom and gloom, horror, open world with different adventure games, you're not gonna have the Ghost of Tsushimas, and you're not gonna have the God of Wars, and you're not gonna have those big blockbuster experiences. Like, and yeah, that's kind of my thing. Like, yo,
so here's the deal. So when it comes to what you were saying about like the horror games and stuff like that, I think that Xbox is wise enough to know that that is a niche market, because everybody and their mother knows that when it comes to horror games and things of that nature, that is a very niche market. It's not
this is true.
like how many what the age range is for those, like they have analytics and they know their database. They know that at that point we're trying to appeal to the adults first. Then they'll probably show something that's a little bit more family friendly or anything like along those lines. We still haven't seen anything what they're planning on doing with, if they're planning on doing anything with VR. We don't know if they're planning on doing anything with any kind of innovations like that. Xbox is typically pushing some kind of something when it comes to that. Like, I know that they were working on the Hollow Glass for a while, but I don't know what happened to that project. But I think
next
that
cloud, bro. I think that's what
when
they're
it
going to
comes
push to us.
Yeah, I mean, that is going to be one thing, and the Game Pass thing is going to be another thing. But, when it comes to Xbox, I mean, when you think of Xbox, have you ever really thought Xbox and then a franchise other than Gears of War and Halo? They've never really
I kind of feel like that's a problem, though.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is. Don't get me wrong. But back a couple of years ago, do you remember them announcing that they bought a bunch of studios?
Yes.
Yeah.
None of these studios have really released much of anything. So
and that's my thing, though. That's my thing. Like, we kind of need to see something. That's where I'm getting at. Like, I know they.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to get to. Is so when it comes, just like we were talking about before. When Don was saying, I hope that they do come with some kind of bitch slap or whatever. I don't know what terminology you use, but
I said bitch slapper. I mean the
bitch slap. All right. So when it comes to that kind of stuff, I mean, I really think that they have something. I think that they know their position. I don't think that Xbox is stupid. I think that they have made poor choices, and whether they acknowledge that, are self-aware and willing to change those choices that they've been making to new choices. I mean, it really just it's a waiting game at this point, because when it comes to the announcements, it's almost like we're playing some kind of game of like Rochambeau, or I don't know, like poker. We're trying to read the other person and see what they're going to throw before, laying down your cards. Let's just say that. So just like you trying to guess what the other person has in their hand, you don't know. So when it comes to, Sony just revealed all this stuff.
Yep.
Xbox has been pretty damn confident about stuff. If you're looking at their social media and stuff like that, they know that they've screwed up in the past.
Yep.
Shit, they got rid of what's his name, Don Matrix, as soon as he was just like, "Oh, you don't like Xbox One? Well, we got a system for you. It's Xbox 360, buddy. You stick to that
TV.
Yeah, so that guy, oh my god, that was the best thing that they did, was get rid of that fool. It really is a matter of waiting at this point. It's kind of funny, because at this point in time, we've got so many weird things happening that are affecting the industry. So
absolutely.
It's almost like a game of poker going on with a hailstorm and just like random elements being thrown into this battle that was already going on. It's like, oh, haha. Oh, you want to play poker? We'll play poker in acid rain. It's like we got so many things that are possibly affecting things that are going on behind the scenes. Just like Nintendo. I mean, we have Nintendo putting out statements like, hey, these things with COVID are affecting production, and it really just depends on what they're planning on showing, because they could very well show something, not be in a position to follow through with what they show, and then everybody's pissed off. And it's a game of like playing it safe at this point. But we are on the brink of what would normally be E3, which is not happening this year. We're seeing these companies, just like Nintendo today, they randomly dropped Paper Mario on us.
It caught me so off guard.
Dude,
I woke up to that and I was like, what?
Yeah.
There's been rumblings about that for a while, but like obviously everybody and their mother makes up freaking Nintendo rumors. It's like, we've got a new, who knows, whatever. Just make
Star
up whatever
Fox Grand Prix.
Yeah, just make up a franchise in that Nintendo did. There's a new Bomberman Hero 64 coming to like anybody can make shit up and just like throw it out on the internet. But and Nintendo fans, they eat that shit up, boy. When it comes to Xbox, I think that they're playing it smart this time. I really hope that that's the case, at least, because I do want to see them succeed. I don't want to see them come out this generation and have another Xbox One situation, which I mean, Xbox One is not terrible, but it's not
still north of 50 million. I mean, it's still not.
Yeah, it's not terrible, but it's like it's not what I expected from a company that had the success that they did with the 360. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When it comes to when I think online gaming, when I think all of that stuff, I think Xbox 360 was that console that really
Halo 3
revolutionized online gaming to me, aside from a PC. You know what I'm saying? Like when it came to playing online games, you got what you paid for when it came to like the online play of that generation. Have you ever played a game online on PS3?
Oh yeah,
awful.
I played Call of Duty on there. It was trash.
Oh my god! Like I don't know how don't even get me started on that. But I really hope that they learn from their mistakes of this generation. I really hope that they have something up their sleeves that they plan on pulling out as a wild card, because they really need it this time. You know what I mean? They really do need it this time.
Yeah. I agree with you, Rex, but I don't have a lot of faith, and I hope I'm wrong. That's what I will say. I hope I am
in the same
incorrect.
Boat. Don't get me. Don't think that this passionate speech that I've been laying out here for the past, how long have I been rambling?
10 minutes, 24
yeah,
minutes.
It's good. I've been rambling a lot. Sorry. But I mean, I'm just really excited about this new generation.
Me too.
It's been a while since I've gotten this amped up for anything, to be totally honest with you. So I really do want to see some more aggressive marketing strategies when it comes to these two companies, because I want to see the old school, console wars be alive in a sense, but not in the sense that we talked about earlier, where it's like Twitter boys battling it out and shitting on each other. I want to see the companies really kind of try to give the consumer as much as possible. And I think that I think a little bit of it, Xbox is a little occupied with the whole cloud stuff, like you were saying before, Nick. The streaming stuff, they really want to put, like, the companies are really trying to push this streaming stuff. I really cannot stand that. When gaming gets to the point where it's all streaming, I'm probably going to be done. Because at the end of the day, like, I don't like paying for services over and over and over to not own anything.
Yeah.
It's like I'm throwing money away at that point. It's like the way I look at it is I have games that I bought 20, 25 years ago that I have not finished, played, whatever. And you cannot find these games anywhere. And with the way that legal rights to, when it comes to these games nowadays, they sign multi-year deals. And once those deals are over with, say the company that made the game disbands and they, all these people go out and the right holders go to different companies. It makes it almost damn near impossible. Look at Duke Nukem, for example, okay? Duke Nukem, do you know the battle of the rights to Duke Nukem, how long it took to get the rights back to Duke Nukem? It took 10 years to get the rights back to Duke Nukem. And then by that time, the game that was supposed to come out on a Nintendo 64 came out on an Xbox 360, and people were wondering why the game sucks. Yeah. You know what I mean? So this is a fucking, this is a 64 game that came out on a 360 that basically was polished up, is basically a polished turd, and people don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, even when it comes to stuff like DuckTales, remember when DuckTales, oh my God, when it got pulled off and then they put it back up or whatever, those types of things, we're lucky that they put it back on certain franchise, like on certain consoles. But Scott Pilgrim, for example,
But, dude,
I'm trying to just think of things off the top of my head, but like,
think about it this way,
is
though.
exactly the crap that I'm saying. Like, you can't, this is the worst part about it, is that if you bought that game, okay, here's one that really pisses me off. Okay, you want to talk about something that pisses me off? Wii, okay, the Wii shop is down, right?
Oh yeah, it's gone.
Okay, Wii shop. My fucking Wii broke. I had Castlevania Rebirth on that son of a bitch, and I can't play that game ever again now.
Oh my gosh,
bro. So,
that hurts.
I can't get down with this digital shit, man. I really cannot get down with the digital shit. I really hope, people can take their dump on limited run games and all this stuff. If we didn't have companies like that, and yeah, there could be better business practices
limited run
for
games.
I fucking love them too, but I mean, don't get me wrong. There's certain things that happen behind the scenes that I don't think that they have 100% control over either, because a lot of this stuff is based on whether the developer is willing to do certain things. And like with the Streets of Rage situation that came out, they have the limited run version of Streets of Rage, and then Merge, a company, came out and announced their version of Streets of Rage with a different cover, comes with a keychain, yada yada, and it's cheaper and shipping out sooner. They kind of got screwed on that because they didn't know what the hell that was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, when it comes to stuff like that, I hope that we still have the ability to do physical over digital if we want. All of this, console with like, say Lockhart, for example. If Lockhart comes out and it's an all digital console, but it's at a much cheaper price point. If the market adapts that, and people are stupid, okay? People are stupid. They will fall into any cheap trap that these companies will get you to, go the route of digital.
It happens, yep.
And then you're just kind of like, oh, wait, I regret making this decision. Can we go back now? I kind of want to own my games. Like, you get and this stuff doesn't happen until it's already been adapted. It's already been, dude, I can go on rambling about this for hours, but I'm gonna shut up. But that's my opinion on the digital stuff. I hope that we stay in the realm of physical being a thing. PC gaming, you can see it now. If you go onto Steam and you try to look for a good game on Steam, you'll find the heavy hitters. But if you try to find a good game that's like one of those offshoot indie games, unless somebody has found it and like really given it some publicity, you're sifting through Hentai Puzzle Quest 5, Hentai Puzzle Girlfriend Simulator this.
Excuse me, can you get the F off my Steam list? All right, like don't worry about what's in my library.
I had to refresh your Steam list, so I came to this podcast prepared. All right, bitch.
Pantsu.
Yeah. But no, you get what I'm saying. There's so many different games. Like if you go to the Steam library and you look at like new games, you're going through so much bull crap. It's like Car Hits Bunnies 5. Like you literally have like a game where it's like a Flash cartoon running over rabbits or something. It's just stupid crap.
Car Hits Bunny 5.
I guarantee that happened. Look on Steam. I bet you that's a fucking
Car
game.
Hits Bunny 5. That's hilarious.
But no, I'm with you though. I'm not a fan of digital. I hope that the physical options stay around for a long time. And what I was going to tell you to earlier was like just look at Game Pass. Let's say you are a subscriber to one of these services to get your games, right? Like even on Game Pass, you see it today. Games come in and games leave because their contractual agreement that they have with Microsoft or whatever ends. So then the game comes out, right? So if you have decided that, let's say not this next generation, but let's say the one after, right? That you're subscribed to services, like there's a chance that the game that maybe you haven't beaten yet or that you like the most in your library could no longer be in your library. So then it becomes a whole thing of like now you have to either purchase it digitally or if physical is not an option. So I doubt we'll ever see that future, and if we do, I feel like it's probably really far off. I hope. I can only cross fingers and hope because, yeah, I don't want to live in that world where I can't actually hold a game anymore.
I don't think that day will ever come because if you think about it, if you think about it, they're literally shooting themselves in the foot. This is an entire market of people that, like us, refuse to go digitally for the same reason. Why would you take that profit out of your own pocket as a company developing these games?
Well, I'll tell you like this. They make a lot more money with a digital version than they do with any, like, putting, like, they lose I'm gonna tell you right now, they lose money.
I
because
get it because of the production run. I understand that part, but it's still profit.
No, absolutely. Well, depending on how smart you are going about making them, because if you ever go into like back when Toys R Us was still around, you know how many games were just like sealed? Dude, I freaking saw when Toys R Us was closing, people were finding copies of like 64 games sealed in their warehouses. It was wild. Like you know, you don't really think about it because you're just going, you know, these games are selling. Yeah, they are. Don't get me wrong, but there's also that production run of like, hey, we're going to make this many copies because we have to guess, you know, based on how many pre-orders we got. And then people there's like a big, you know, give and take there because people get pissed off that they can't find copies if they didn't pre-order it. Companies then, you know, get a bad rep and people are like, oh, well, I'm not buying it because they didn't put out physical copies. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different like politics that goes into that as well.
Yeah.
But it also, you know, it will give those companies the ability to take a company like, say, Limited Run. And, you know, if Limited Run wants to make money on that stuff, then they allow a company like that, because that is what I feel like this whole future of gaming is when it comes to the physical stuff. Because, yeah, we'll have companies like Limited Run, Super Rare Games, Merge, whatever it is, that will come and swoop in at the opportunity to, you know, make some money on that. But then that company is taking the risk of, you know, putting the money down, because when it comes to Limited Run, they put the money down to put those physical copies in production.
Yeah.
And then that's why you have that, okay, we're only doing pre-orders and that's it. And then you have like the people scalping them online with it. And we'll get to that's all.
Yeah, it's a whole other ball
different
game.
conversation. Yeah. But you know, it's a much safer bet on that, but it's terrible for the consumer because at that point, if you say, for example, I did not have the funds to order Panzer Dragoon physical, even though I freaking wanted that shit so bad. And yes, they had a window of time where you could pre-order it, but I wasn't able to do it in that window. So now I'm screwed if I don't find a copy on eBay or at a convention or something like that. And I guarantee you, when I do find one, because I will find one, it's gonna be double the freaking price.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So at that point, it's going to start rubbing people the wrong way, and they're just gonna be like, whatever, dude. I'm so sick of dealing with this. I am gonna go digital.
Yeah, that's a terrible future.
Look at the situation that we're in now, okay? The situation that we're in now. Have you looked at the numbers of how many copies of games have been sold digitally since this whole pandemic has started?
Well, it's gone up exponentially.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Just because people don't want to put themselves in danger, which thank you, please don't do that. If you have to get it mailed to you. You know,
Absolutely.
Don't think about employees. They have lives and their lives matter too. But it really comes down to this is the most scary thing about it, is that this whole situation makes digital seem so convenient.
Yeah.
And that's the shittiest part about it. Is like this whole situation is making digital seem so, it's almost like the companies are like, this is great. This is great for business. But the consumer
also forwards the timeline that,
it's basically sped up a process that they thought was going to take a lot longer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You know, I know that stuff like Stadia is not kicking on. You know, it's not catching on the way that they thought it would. But once they get those damn kinks ironed out, because everything has problems in the beginning. once they get those kinks ironed out, I'm very concerned of how gaming changes. I'm super concerned.
Oh,
Well, on that note, guys, we hope that this future that Rax has brought me down with never happens. But with that being said,
Go outside! Take the games!
thank you everybody
Yeah.
for joining us tonight. We had some really awesome conversations. Thank you everybody. We've had like 14, 15 all night in here. Thank you all who have hung out with us. We really appreciate it. Thank you guys for joining this episode. We talked about a lot of awesome games coming, and we're gonna get them in our hands very soon. So make sure you check not only us out, but everybody else on the channel, Nintendo, Rax. Make sure you guys check out everybody as they kind of cover everything. With that being said, fellas, any last words you guys want to leave everybody off with tonight?
No, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. If you guys want to check me out, you can check me out at I got Instagram, I got Twitter. On Twitter, I'm at RaxTheGreat1. I just put out a new video on YouTube today, covering a couple things that I saw in the trailer for Paper Mario. I did touch base on a couple of on those things, but if you weren't here for that, maybe go check that out. If you want to come subscribe and join, part of the greatest channel on YouTube, baby. No, I'm just kidding. I'm terrible. But if you want to come hang out with me, I'd appreciate it. We're trying to grow, trying to hit that 5,000. So
Boom.
Come be a part of it.
5K hype. Nintendo grooving out over there. Getting it.
sorry. I got a Persona 5 open up right now. So really just, getting ready to play that because I didn't get a chance to play it today. Didn't get a chance to stream it. I might stream it after. I'll just play it by myself. Forget that. No stream tonight. But yeah, that's what I was jamming to. I just opened it up. I had that opening play. I'm telling you what, I'm feeling the hype. I feel the hype behind this game, y'all.
I'm glad.
I'm feeling the hype behind this game, y'all. All this talking about how long the game was really was like had intimidated me. But you know what? It's gonna be an easy 120 hours. It's gonna be an easy one because it's gonna be that enjoyable. Just letting you guys know.
Fair enough. Quick question. If I want to find you on Spotify, what would I search?
If you want to find me on Spotify, sir, you can go just look up Studio Nintendo. It'll pop up. Hit that follow button if you got Spotify. Listen to a few songs. I got my Life Will Change cover. It should be coming soon, probably next week, as well as the My Hero Academia when those are both going up next week. But if you want to listen to it, you can go to my YouTube channel and you can watch the video of the Life Will Change cover from Persona 5.
Beautiful.
And I appreciate y'all.
Make sure you guys do that. You guys have a job, and now you got to go do it. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining episode number 49 of the Lootcast. Tomorrow night, come hang out with us. We're going to be hitting up Animal Crossing. We have some rare villagers to find, and god damn it, are we going to find them. So make sure you guys come by and hang out with us as we attempt to do that tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Pacific time, as always. And we might even have something even more special on Saturday. More Animal Crossing. Come by for that, too. All right, guys. We'll see you guys on next week's episode. Number 50. Hope you guys have a great night. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Social distance. Do all the funky stuff. And we'll catch you guys.
Wash your ass.
Wash your ass.
That's the most important part. Please do that. We know you're at home, but please wash it.